This week in Jamaica Now, Rashawn Patterson, the man accused of murdering a social media influencer, is killed by the police. Brawl at St. James High School. This time it's the principal and the board chairman. Warmington strikes again, says he's not a racist.
I went to white man country, study, make some money and come back. Not a racist. I'm a realist.
And fearless Valerie, beloved attorney Valerie Neita Robertson, has died. I'm Jovan Johnson, and this is Jamaica Now. Rashawn Patterson, the man accused of murdering social media influencer Anika Slickianna Townsend, was killed in an alleged police confrontation on Tuesday. It sparked an emotional reaction from her mother, Joyce Smith, who said she got justice. Ms. Smith and other close relatives rushed to Dovecote Cemetery to celebrate by Townsend's graveside. Superintendent Andrew Nish confirmed that the 35-year-old was shot during an intelligence-led police operation in Lucy, Hanover. He was shot and killed inside his bedroom at his parents' house in Dundee Pen. A close relative has disputed the police's claim that there was a confrontation. Now, at the time of his death, Mr. Patterson had been out on bail, awaiting trial for Ms. Townsend's 2022 murder. He had previously been denied bail multiple times before being released on humanitarian grounds. He was linked to numerous other crimes, including murder. Tensions at St. James High School in Montego Bay led to its closure earlier this week as a bitter feud between Principal Joseph Williams and then Board Chairman Christopher McCurdy almost turned physical. A viral video circulating on social media shows Monday's chaotic scenes at the school. Education Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon has expressed disappointment over the situation and announced plans to review legislation to grant the ministry greater authority in handling school conflicts.
What happened on this week was very, very disappointing. And our students are our priority. And for us as a government, the education of our students is number one. And when you have your students not able to go to school because of the internal politics in a school, it is a problem. And we're going to have to fix it. And we feel that we have to look at the legislation. We have to look also at the regulations, because I was on the Education Transformation Commission, and from then we had said that the law and also the regulations, they don't give enough power for stepping in.
The ministry has now deployed senior officials, including National Council on Education head Maris Murray, to mediate. Ms. Murray says governance breakdowns and poor conflict resolution are at the heart of the crisis. The board has been dissolved. Meanwhile, the opposition has condemned this week's closure at St. James High School. Deputy spokesperson Dr. Kenneth Russell says students should not suffer because of leadership failures. He said the previous tensions were exacerbated by what he says is the ministry's failure to intervene early with the mediation. Jamaica Labour Party MP Everald Warmington has doubled down on his claim that opposition leader Mark Golding should not become Prime Minister, citing his alleged ancestral links to slave owners. Speaking at a party meeting in St. Andrew Eastern on Sunday, Mr. Warmington framed the upcoming election as a choice between a descendant of the enslaved and one of the plantocracy.
I spoke before in West Kingston and they attacked me saying I'm a racist. I'm not a racist. I went to white man country, study, make some money and come back. Not a racist. I'm a realist. I said send him up on the back of the boat. Let me clarify what I said. I did not attack white people. Out of many, one people. But I'm talking about one individual who is a descendant of the plantocracy, whose parents and descendants were slave owners. I'm a descendant of the slave. body in order. Who feel no pain and joyless? We can look like us. It come from us. A poor family and come down road in Spanish Town.
Meanwhile, local government minister Desmond McKenzie declared at the meeting that the ruling Jamaica Labour Party will, quote, never surrender Jamaica to the PNP, never, end quote. He pointed to the government's track record, citing falling unemployment and crime rates as proof of progress. Opposition leader and the People's National Party PNP President Mark Golding has told comrades that the next PNP government will prioritise principle and integrity in administering state affairs. He said members of that administration cannot get mixed up in what he called bangarang and that they had to ensure that persons in Parliament are worthy of representing Jamaicans. Mr. Golding was speaking at a meeting on Sunday in St. Andrew West Rural. And Mr. Golding said he is still waiting on Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness to disclose a position on the status of the UK-based Privy Council being Jamaica's final court. He signalled that the opposition will continue to stay away from a parliamentary committee examining a proposed law to remove the British monarchy, among other things, until Mr. Holness addresses that issue. More Jamaicans believe the governing Jamaica Labour Party JLP is better at providing jobs when the two parties are compared, but that the opposition People's National Party PNP does a better job of looking after the poor. When asked which party they felt would do a better job providing jobs for the people in the latest RJR Gleaner commissioned Don Anderson public opinion poll, 35% of respondents said the JLP, while 32% said the PNP. 20% said they were not sure, and 13% said neither of the two parties. The poll was conducted between January 30 and February 12 among 1,201 registered voters aged 18 and over across all parishes. The margin of error is plus or minus 3% at the 95% confidence level. And the poll has also found that 45% of Jamaicans intend to vote in the next general election, constitutionally due by September. This marks a slight increase from 42% in the September 2024 poll. Pollster Don Anderson has cautioned that despite the increase, it may not translate into a higher voter turnout on election day. The private sector organization of Jamaica is welcoming Fitch Ratings' decision to affirm Jamaica's credit rating at BB- with a positive outlook. The group says the move reinforces the government's commitment to sound fiscal and monetary policies. On January 21, Fitch maintained Jamaica's long-term foreign currency issuer default rating at BB- after upgrading it from B last March. The agency cited improved fiscal discipline, a declining debt-to-GDP ratio, and stronger institutions. Despite weather-related economic setbacks last year, the PSOJ says Jamaica's financial policies remain on track, with the national debt projected to fall to 66.3% of GDP in the 2025-2026 fiscal year, approaching the 60% target by 2027-2028. Meanwhile, Finance Minister Favour Williams is also pleased with Fitch's update. She says it acknowledges the government's firm commitment to fiscal responsibility despite recent economic challenges. The Senate on Friday approved the bill to make Portmore Jamaica's 15th parish amid concerns from the Electoral Commission of Jamaica (ECJ) that the proposed boundary may breach a constitutional provision. The vote followed a marathon debate and was split along party lines, with government senators in support and opposition members against. The House of Representatives approved the bill on February 11, despite a walkout by opposition members. There are several more steps before the bill becomes law, including being presented to the Governor-General for his assent. Earlier this month, the ECJ formally advised Parliament that the proposed Portmore boundary, quote, may negatively affect the boundaries, end quote, in the second schedule of the Jamaican Constitution. The provision states that the boundary of a constituency shall not cross the boundary of a parish as delimited by the Counties and Parishes Act or by any law amending or replacing that law. In his February 12 letter, ECJ Chairman Earl Jarrett said the proposed boundary would impact 4 constituencies: St. Catherine South Eastern, St. Catherine East Central, St. Catherine Southern and St. Catherine South Central, along with 13 electoral divisions and 398 polling divisions currently within St. Catherine. Mr. Jarrett said a similar letter was sent to the Desmond McKenzie-led Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development in June 2024. Retired Supreme Court Justice Carol Lawrence Bezic and former Bank of Jamaica Governor Brian Winter have been confirmed as new commissioners of the Integrity Commission. Governor-General Sir Patrick Allen also appointed Mrs. Lawrence Bezic as chairman. The changes follow the February 25 departure of former chairman retired Justice Seymour Panton and former Commissioner Eric Crawford. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck expressed confidence in the new commissioners, noting their experience and potential to enhance the commission's credibility. Renowned attorney and King's Counsel Valerie Neita Robertson died this week at age 71. Her family said the veteran lawyer, known for her fierce advocacy and high-profile legal battles, passed away peacefully on Tuesday. With a 47-year career, Mrs. Neita Robertson has been hailed as a powerhouse in the courtroom who defended high-profile clients such as Vybz Kartel. She was appointed Queen's Counsel in 2016 and remained active until her illness forced her to step back during the Keith Clark murder trial in October last year. Beyond the law, Mrs. Neita Robertson was involved in politics, serving as a People's National Party councillor in the 1980s. She ran for the Portland Western constituency seat in 2020. Tributes have poured in from the legal fraternity, with colleagues describing her as a relentless advocate and mentor. PNP President and Opposition Leader Mark Golding said Mrs. Neita Robertson's unwavering dedication to justice and her significant contributions to the party and nation will forever be remembered. Jamaica Labour Party stalwart and Senate President King's Counsel Tom Tavares Finson said Mrs. Neita Robertson was committed to the law and to securing justice for her clients regardless of their background or station in life. Mrs. Neita Robertson is survived by her 4 sons. And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. Follow us on X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram at Jamaica Gleaner, and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. Like this video on our YouTube page, turn on your notification, and subscribe today. I'm Jovan Johnson.